Hello and welcome to Halfcraft. My name is Charlotte and this is my channel where I talk general rubbish about my chaotic crafty life. I live on the south coast of England with my 5 neurospicy children and crafting keeps me sane. Hi! It feels like ages since I've done a video like this, probably because it has been. It's been a couple of weeks. I think the last video I did was 17th century cooking one, which is probably, and actually I've been doing it again and I've forgotten to put my rings back on. I'm naked. So yes, that's why it feels like it's been a while. I've got a couple of things to show you. Firstly, the most important thing to show you is Bobby. We have a new dog. Didn't ever intend to have 3 dogs. That was not my intention. But, however, Bobby's home, we're not able to keep him. And there are various things that Bobby has missed out on. He's 2 years old. He is a Dachshund crossed with a Pomeranian. And he is an absolute snuggle bunny. And I love him so much. There are a few issues that we need to iron out. When I got him, firstly, he'd never been on a walk. He didn't even have a collar and lead when I picked him up. So I've taken him out on his first walk and he did really, really well, although he did seem to think that I was trying to garrote him when I put a collar on him. But yes, we've had a couple of incidents of resource guarding, but when he came, he didn't know what... I've literally had him a week today. He didn't know what a dog chew was. He had never seen dog chews before, but having Star and Eddie chew on dog chews a lot, I get them those yak bar things. And he's been watching them and he started chewing on them. But what I found is when he is chewing on them, if Eddie goes near him, he does show some resource guarding. I'm having to keep a real close eye on him because Eddie is currently chewing a chew. So it's just, I mean, it's all, Bobby's never lived with other dogs. He doesn't even know, these brand new things in his life now, dog chews. And he's like, I want them all. So it'd be fine. I've got a dog crate, which I don't really use in the shed. So I shall get that out and we shall just do some training with him. He's never had any training. So he's a work in progress, but he's absolutely lovely. The dogs love him. He's settled right in. Him and Eddie are just playing all the time because they're both the same age. So yeah, it's great. So it will be fine. Anyway, what have I been doing? Well, we are a week into the Easter holidays now, or spring break for my friends further afield. And it was exactly what we needed, and I knew it would be. We just needed that reset. Which is exactly what we're doing. We feel really good. We've just not been governed by time constraints, and that's just the main thing that we needed a break from. So I think I mentioned it last time, I've been in a real brain funk. It happens, it's the thing with ADHD. Sometimes you're loving life and other times you struggle to get your cognitive function in order, and that's what's been happening with me. I think I did say at the last end of the last video that I was coming out of it, but I actually wasn't. I think that was just wishful thinking. However, now I absolutely am coming out of it. I'm pleased to say, and I think that is because of the reset of the Easter holidays. So let me show you some things. The first thing, the first finished object I have, I think last time I did show you the Dorset button that I had done because I was learning button making for the village. I'm pretty sure I showed you that. Well, I decided I wanted to do a modern day one because I see all these beautiful Dorset buttons in all these colours. You can use embroidery thread, which I have an abundance of. So I gave it a go and this is what I made. Ding! I have to put a picture in because Pete stole it. I was looking for it and I thought, what have I done with it? And then I realised, I showed it to Pete and he was like, is that for me? I went, well, actually, no, but if you want it, you can have it because we're in love. So yes, that class as Pete's Easter present. So I don't have it, but yes, it is a beautiful bouquet of flowers. I really enjoyed making it. Didn't take all that long, really. I'm really enjoying the button making. I haven't really done any though. I've got the kit to make some high tops and things like that. So I will do more of that now that I'm starting to be able to focus my brain a little bit more. So what I have been working on, what I've really only been able to get my head around is socks. After the last video, I think I had just finished my Summerly Cuff Club videos, just watching Eddie, because I think he's about to try and hurdle the lead of my ring light. I've got my ring light on because even though it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's quite a dark day. I have to keep pausing because Eddie and Bobby keep trying to wrestle, which is fine. They can wrestle. They're actually not all that loud when they wrestle. But it makes Star bark because Star is the matriarch and she barks and barks at them to tell them to stop being stupid. But yes, it's okay. We'll see how far we can get. But yes, anyway, so I'd finished the Summerly Cuff Club socks, and when I came off doing that video, I thought the only other pair of socks that I have going, I'll show you them. So I name my vanilla socks by the colorway of the yarn I'm using. I don't say vanilla socks because I like to differentiate between the vanilla socks. I feel like they deserve a better name. So these are the mummy socks because it's the mummy colorway, which was part of my spooky yarn club that I get from Unseen Yarn. There's a hair on them. So I originally started this pair as my first pair in the gift knits category for the 12 cast-ons from Andrew of Yarn and Yarns, and I was making them for Pete. Actually, originally I thought potentially they could be a Valentine's Day present for Pete. It's a really lovely colorway. It's very much his colors. Every now and then you get a pop of like really random colors. You can't see it that well, but there's some blues and there's some yellows, and I think there is some pops of orange in here somewhere as well. But it's really nice and I do like it, but it's a bit boring for my liking. Now, these might actually not end up being for Pete anyway, because I made these pair of socks for Pete's middle brother. So Pete's the baby of 3 brothers. The middle brother is the one that I made the blue and yellow socks for Christmas. His oldest brother now lives with him. He's moved back from Newquay and is living with him, and he is the only one of the brothers now that doesn't have a pair of socks. So I said to Pete, how do you feel about me giving these to your older brother? And he said yes, that's absolutely fine. So but I'm struggling to work on these a little bit. Like I've done the gusset decreases, I'm literally into the foot, but these are not what I want to grab for because they are just a little bit boring. But I just need to try and do a few rows a day. Pete wanted a longer leg, so these are actually 80 leg. But yeah, I still like them and they will get finished, but it's just not, they're just a bit boring for me. So I thought, I don't want to cast on anything new, but what can I work on that's going to pique my interest a little bit more? And I knew straight away, I was like, I have a pair of my first ever contrast cuff, heel and toe socks that I started on the 1st of November 2025 because they were part of my weekly advent that I got from Chromatic Yarns that I had absolutely no self-control with, and I opened the second it got here. And instantly wanted to cast on my first pair of contrast socks. So I did, and then that was it. They kind of languished and I didn't pick them up. And I did think about giving them as a gift to my friend. But now that they are done, I kind of feel like I want to keep them for myself because they're my first contrast ones and I want to keep all of my first. And I've been dying to wear these, but I was really good and I was like, I'm not going to wear them until I have shown them. So here they are. They're so pretty. I love them so much. So I have no idea what week these were meant to be in the advent calendar. They just happened to be my favorite when I opened them all. So these were the first ones that I did. So as you can see, they came with a mini. So for the cuff, I did 10 rows of the contrast colour and then 10 rows of the main colour to make up a 20 row rib. And it's a 2x1 rib, which is my favourite type of rib. And I did the heel and the toe, and this is a sparkly yarn, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I just love it so much. So yes, I got them finished. I'm so happy. I am wearing these today. They've been hanging on my fireplace, because where else do you hang your socks when they're finished, you know? So I've been looking at them constantly, and I'm like, just record a video so that you can get them on your feet. So there we go. That is my finished pair of socks. I immediately, as soon as I finished those, cast on another pair with my Chromatic Yarns Advent. And this is how far I have got with those. Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. So this was the colorway. I have no idea what the colorway was called for those first ones. I'm absolutely useless. I did make quite good notes in Ravelry, but I didn't put the colorway name for some reason. But with these next ones, I kept it. I kept the band, and these are called Foxgloves Kiss. So they are from Chromatic Yarns. I'm sorry, it's all folded. Because I've got it inside of the cake. So Foxgloves Kiss on the sparkle sock base. And it was, the main colour is this beautiful pinks, purples, whites, little flecks of black in there. And it's all sparkly. And the mini that came with it is this lovely purple, kind of tonal sparkly purple. So that is knitting up like this, and I love it. And I realized when I started making this, purple is my favorite color. I don't have, look, I'm like surrounded by purple, yet I haven't got a purple pair of socks that I've made. What is wrong with me? So yeah, I'm really pleased to have these. I can't wait for these to be finished. As you can see, I've literally just started the heel flap there, and I've done the same contrast, 10 rows of the contrast, 10 rows. Although I did have enough of the mini left on the first set, I could have done the whole cuff, but I want to keep some back for a blanket, which I'm starting today, which I will talk about later on. But yeah, I didn't want to use up the whole mini. So I just stuck with the 10 rows of contrast, 10 rows of normal, and I've made a shorter leg. I originally wanted 40 rows leg, but I was on a Zoom with the beautiful Mandy of Mousewitch Yarns last night, and that is the right, she's changed her name recently. Mousewitch is the new name, I think. I think Mousewitch Yarns, is that the new one? I think it is. But yeah, so I was on her Zoom last night, and I kept forgetting to click my row counter. And when I actually eventually counted the rows, I had forgotten to click it 12 times. My row counter said 38 rows. This was up to 50. So these are a 50 row leg. The reason I'm going for a shorter leg, I normally like 70 or 80 because I wear boots. But obviously we're coming into the nicer weather now, so I've been reaching less for my boots and more for my trainers. So I wanted to make a slightly shorter leg, and then after I've done these, I probably will make myself a couple of pairs of shorties. Not shorties, I don't make the shorties. I do sort of about this much of a cuff, so they're very much on my ankle, so they're ankle socks. So I'll make some of those as well. But yes, I'm absolutely loving this. So I remembered as well that when I think this kind of fell to the wayside when I started the 12 cast-ons, because I was casting on all the things. But what I usually do with socks is start them both at the same time. So I'll do the cuff on one, the cuff of the other, the leg of one, the leg of the other, and go down like that, because it really stops the second sock syndrome thing. And it's like, there's nothing worse than when you get to the end of your first sock and you've finished it, and then it's like, oh god, now I've got to start from the beginning and go right back and start again. Doing it in tandem means that I don't have to worry about that. They're both pretty much finished at the same time. So So yes, here we go. I have started the calf. I went a bit wrong on this morning, but I thought I'm not going to pull back. These socks are only for me and no one's going to notice. My knit and purl combo was a bit off, but only for one row and only actually for half a row. So I'm not pulling back. But yeah, so I've done my 10 rounds of the contrast and I'm now on to my 10 rows of that. So I will continue this and finish the leg on this one. And then I'll go back to the heel on this one. So yes, those are my, so that is my second weekly advent from Chromatic Yarns. She hasn't released her, as far as I'm aware, she hasn't released her advent. See, this is what's spurring me on to do these socks, is that everyone's starting to release their advents, and there's a couple that I've got my eye on. But I haven't seen Hannah from Chromatic Yarns release her theme yet. So we will see. We'll see. One of the ones that I'm interested in open today, actually, I think. But we'll see. I will reserve judgment, but I'll definitely be getting another advent this year, and I'm really going to try not to open it the second it arrives. We are going to learn from our mistakes. So that is all in the way of socks. That is the only socks that I've got cast on at the moment. So I'm doing quite well considering where my brain's been. I haven't cast on a million pair of socks or anything. So that is very good. For the first time in weeks, I haven't touched my Guatemala cardigan because I just haven't had the brain capacity to work on it. But yesterday I woke up and I'm like, I want to do some of my Guatemala. So I did, and I'm so happy. I'm going to do some more on it today. So what I've done with my Guatemala is I haven't knit the entire body and then gone back to do the sleeves. I have knit sort of an inch or two of the body and then gone to do the sleeves because it just, in my mind, makes it easier because you haven't got the whole cardigan to maneuver while you're doing the sleeves. That was actually a tip that I got from Ange of Yarn and Yarns. So yeah, and I'm liking it so far. I'm doing the sleeve on 16-inch circulars. Could have done it on magic loop, but my magic loop is, well, I'm using my magic loops for the body. Oh gosh, honestly, I am so brain dead. I was thinking to myself, where are my magic loop ones in this size? I'm using them for the body. Anyway, so anyway, I'm quite happy doing the sleeves on the 16-inch circular. I did originally start doing them on DPNs, and I regretted that decision because I now have, my tension was obviously very, very off after I picked up the gusset stitches. And look, I have holes. Thankfully, it's under the armpit, so I will just go back and obviously stitch those up. I did notice as well, I've got a stitch marker in here because I dropped a stitch. So I've got a stitch marker there. That's just holding that drop stitch, and I will go back and sort that out once I have finished the sleeve. So what I decided to do is I picked up all the stitches for the sleeve. I did about, what's that, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of round and round knitting, and then I decided to just start doing it flat because I can't get my head around doing a round in knit, doing a round in purl. Like I can't keep up with that. So knitting it flat is the best way for me. And I'm quite happy knitting flat on 16-inch circulars. I very often do, you know, my heel flaps and stuff like that on my socks on my 9-inch circulars. So it doesn't worry me, and it's just so much easier. So I will continue doing the sleeve working flat, and then I will come back and I'll seam the whole lot, and then at the same time I'll be able to sort this out. I'll literally just carry on seaming up there, so that gets rid of those holes. But yes, I'm really happy. I'm really glad that I'm back doing it. I do need to try it on and measure. Let me see if I can hold it up a little bit so you can see. Aren't the colours just beautiful? Absolutely lovely. So I do need to try it on and measure how far I want to go down the sleeve. I was originally working on this last night during the Zoom, but then I realised I might have to decrease and I need to check the pattern. I don't know. So I will look at the pattern today and have a look, see whether or not I'm supposed to be doing arm decreases. But it's so soft, it's so squishy. I love it so much. I did have to I originally, when I balled up all the yarn for this and the minis, most of this yarn is Mouse Witch yarns, because she had a bit of a de-stash and I bought loads of it, and it was all the colours kind of went together. So I was like, yep, that's it. I'm going to make my Guatemala out of that. There's a couple of other balls that have been thrown in. Like this one is a Bird Street yarn that I just randomly had. And but a couple of the minis, when I put them in, they were a little bit too bright, so I did have to sacrifice. I kept 6 skeins back from the load that I got from Mandy at Mouse Witch Yarns, because they all kind of went together and I wanted to make a different garment with these, but I had to sacrifice one of the balls yesterday for the Guatemala to make up for the minis that I have taken out. So that's fine. I can still make another garment with 5 balls. 5 skeins, it's fine. So yes, this is the new one that I will be adding in. The way that I'm doing the sleeves, so I'm not bothered about the sleeves, and this is another tip that I got from Ange of Yarn and Yarns. I'm pretty sure this is, oh, my son is calling me. So if you go and look at Ange from Yarn Yarn's Guatemala video, she says about she's not bothered about the sleeves matching the body, but she would like the sleeves to kind of match each other. So she was getting minis and kind of weighing them, see how much they, or getting her scraps or whatever she was using, seeing how much they weighed and then splitting them equally. So I've been doing that, and then what I've been doing is taking a picture every time I change one of the yarns. I take a picture and then I write on the picture sleeve 2 or sleeve 3, so that then when I go to do the second one, I know which order they all go in. I'm pretty sure I've got another 16-inch circular, so I might see if I can dig that out. The only trouble is these are cheap ones from, God knows, I don't even know, maybe Temu or something, and they haven't got the sizes written on them. The sizes are only written on the packet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find the right size. But anyway, if I do, then the ideal thing is to start knitting the second sleeve and do them in tandem, the same as I do my socks. So I might see if I can do that today. But anyway, that's the Guatemala. There has been a little bit of progress and I am back in the zone with that, so that's fantastic. I think that's really it for what I've been working on. It's been socks. My son Elijah's just chucked a load of washing down the stairs. I just heard it come down like an avalanche. So yes, that's it for really what I've been working on. Now today is Friday. It is Good Friday. Happy Easter, everybody. And I have been saying for weeks that I want to do Blanket Friday with Marie. I can't think of her channel name. I shall put it here. But she does Blanket Friday. And I know that Mandy from Mouse Witch Yarns joins in as well. And I really, really want to join in. I've been saying it for weeks. I think Soxy Nana Alice does it as well. I forgot to say something about my heel flaps on these socks. Let's go back. Rewind to sock talk. Now I love Soxy Nana I love Soxy Nana Alice. She is amazing. She is so funny and I just love her. She just seems like a genuinely lovely soul. And I watch her podcast every time it comes out. And she said on one of them, and I think she's quite possibly a genius. And she mentioned it on her latest one again. And I'm like, yes, I love it so much. So basically, she doesn't enjoy purling. She much prefers knit stitch, which I am absolutely there with you, Alice. I'm much slower at purling. I find it a bit, I think because I'm cat-handed, I find that quite tricky, but I do it. It's fine. But she does her heel flaps differently, and I have to share this and get this out into the world because it is fantastic. So the way she does her heel flap is she knits, and then when she's coming back, she purl, slip, purl, slip, purl, slip. So she does her slip stitches on the purl side of the heel flap rather than the knit side. And let me tell you, it has sped up my heel flap knitting no end, and it doesn't look any different. You wouldn't be able to tell. So this sock, the mummy sock, this is a heel flap done in the style of Socksy Nana Alice, and you cannot tell that I have done my slip stitches on the other side of that. So the slip stitches are in the purl row, and it just looks exactly the same, and it's so much easier. It's so much easier. So that is, I'm doing my ball of yarn just flew across the room. Yeah, so I'm doing it exactly the same in, you can't really see there, but I'm doing it exactly the same in these. That is my new way of doing heel flaps. Oh, I can't put that back up there because the ball of yarn is over there. Anywho, that is my new way of doing heel flaps, and I am so appreciative. Alice, I love you. You are the best. Also, Alice has got one of the mugs that me and Stephen, Knitting Man, have got. Like, show your mugs, people. Show off your mugs. I think actually Alice's says the same as mine. I think it's over there, but I don't have my glasses on, so there's absolutely no chance of me being able to read the writing. Anywho, so there we go. That's my heel flap. So Blanket Friday. I have wanted to cast on a knitted jelly roll blanket by Kay of the Bakery Bears for the longest time. In fact, I bought the pattern and it was going to be one of my 12 cast-ons, but I didn't put it in my 12 cast-ons because I thought to myself, actually it might even go on for like longer than a year, because what I want to do is going to be like a sock memory blanket. So every bit that I put in there is going to be from socks that I have completed. So every time I complete a sock, I will add a bit to my jelly roll blanket. And that is the reason why I didn't want to use up the whole of the mini for this. I don't know that I've got enough of the mini left to do a whole strip. So it might be that what I do is when I do contrasting socks, I might make sort of the majority of the rectangle in this, but then just do a couple of rows of the contrast at the top, so that then it's kind of the same as like the pair of contrast socks that I've made. So we'll see how that goes, but I really want to make it. I love the look of the jelly roll blanket, and I just really want a knitted blanket. It might be that I knit that blanket and once I've finished, I'm kind of like, I want to go back to crochet, because I love crochet blankets. For me, crochet is for blankets. But I just really want a knitted one. Pete's got a knitted blanket over the back of his couch at his house, and I love it. I reach for it every time I'm there. That is my blanket. So yes, so I am going to today. Star's jiggling me. Do I look like I'm jiggling? Star was having a scritch and she was jiggling me. So today I'm going to cast on the jelly roll blanket by the Bakery Bears, and I cannot wait. I have a massive bag of all of the yarns that I've got left over from socks. I might even, because some of them are actually quite big, there's quite a lot left over. So I might then make some scrappy shorty socks or something with it. I don't know, but we'll see. But I need to start that blanket, and that will be today because it's Blanket Friday. Other than that, I've got some acquisitions to show you. I've got quite a lot of acquisitions, to be fair, but I am only going to show you these few because these are my monthly clubs. So I haven't shown you any of my Unseen Yarn clubs. I only get clubs from Unseen Yarn. I absolutely love her. Up until Christmas, I was getting the Spooky Yarn Club, and I mean, they were just unreal. The colorways were beautiful, and I just loved them. But then she released her new clubs for 2026. One was the Moth Club, based on different moths, and the other one was Decay, based on mold and bacteria. And I love the theme of both of them. Moths and butterflies are my thing. Moths particularly, I love them. I have moths in my blanket back here, I think, somewhere. So yeah, I definitely wanted to give them a go. Now, I have just cancelled my Decay one, not because I didn't like it. It was beautiful. In fact, I think I had 2 of the Decays, and there might be a third on the way. I love them, but I'm finding I'm really, really missing my Spooky Yarn Club. I love looking at the films that they're based on, because they're based on old horror films. And I just really miss the Spooky Yarn Club. So I had to make a choice, because I can't get all of them. I can't get all 3. That's just excessive. So Decay was the one that was for the chop, because I really like the Moth Club. So yes, I'm back to getting the Spooky Yarn Club as of next month, which is really exciting. But I will show you and also I'm finding that the colorways that are coming through for Decay and Moth, no, not so much Moth, maybe Decay, they're all colorways that would suit Pete. They're not really my colorways. And I'm like, I'm not buying a yarn club just so that I can make things for Pete. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, this is me. These yarn clubs are all about me, and all of apart from the mummy, which is the socks that I'm working on, that colorway that I'm working on is the mummy. That was from my Spooky Yarn Club. But other than that, the majority of them were all my colorways, and I loved them. So anyway, these are the ones that I have got recently. I have already caked them up, because I have allocated them for gift knits for Pete and Pete's brothers. But I kept so this is Curse of the Werewolf. This is one of the last Spooky Yarn Clubs that I got. I don't know if you can see it, because it's on shiny thingy. It's called the Curse of the Werewolf, and it's like blues and greys and yellows with a couple of pops of orange in there. I've allocated this colorway for Pete's middle brother. Blue is his favorite color. So that is, and his blue and yellow ones that I made for Christmas were a Spooky Yarn Club as well. They were called I Walked with a Zombie, and I actually gave him the card that came with it, with the socks. So I'll probably do the same for these as well, so they can see the movie that it's based on. So that's that one. And this one is, let me have a look. Oh my goodness, there's no chance of me pronouncing that. Cecropia Moth. So this is obviously my latest one from the Moth Club. And this, as soon as I saw it, I said, this is a colourway for Pete. So this is all, and it's lovely. It's really lovely. This is all browns, oranges, some white in there. I don't know if that's black or dark brown. But yeah, this is definitely a colourway for Pete. So I've caked that up and earmarked that for Kate. I was going to say, who the heck is Kate? Earmarked it for Pete. I was debating on whether or not to see if I have anything that I can use as possibly a contrasting cuff, heel and toe, because that will keep my interest a little bit more with those colours. So I might have a little look at my stash and see what I've got, if I've got anything that I can use for that. So these ones are, this is the Moth Club, and this one I think have I showed you this? I don't know if I have. So this is based on, haven't got my glasses on, Posy Maple Moth. So that is the card that you get. Try not to get the ring light shine. That is the card that you get with it. You get some, I love this. It's so good. I love her clubs because you get stitch markers, which I don't have here to show you. They're already in my stitch marker collection. So I'm sorry, you can't see the stitch marker. But this is the colorway. It's so beautiful. I've got a feeling I've showed you this. I just grabbed all of my yarn club boxes this morning and thought I'll just show you just in case, but I do think I've shown you this. This is so beautiful. Isn't this lovely? Oh, it's so perfect. So that is that one. What is the one under here? So this is Decay. So this is the Decay Yarn Club from Unseen Yarn, and it's, I want to say Mixomatoses, but that's not right at all. But yeah, that is what this is based on. And it's, I mean, it's just such a cool idea. It's such a good idea. And actually, I love this colorway. Oh, now I'm looking at this again and I'm like, oh, this really is my colors. This is beautiful. Can I get all three? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so this is the Decay one. I don't know if I showed you this, but it's purples and teals and white and a little bit of orange and stuff in there. I just love it. It's so pretty. So yeah, that is the latest Decay one. But like I said, I think I've got a Decay and another Decay one on the way. But we will see. Anyway, so those are some acquisitions from my yarn clubs. I can't think what else I was going to say. So really, I just wanted to catch you up on where I am, what I've been doing, and then going forward, I'll have more to talk about because I'm out of my brain funk a little bit. We've got our first camping trip of the season next next week. Sorry, Eddie, I need to just uncross my legs, darling, because my leg's gone dead. Which is so exciting. And I think this is part of the reason why I've been in a brain funk as well, because we're campers. We just love being camping. Like, I like being in my house, or I like being in the outdoors, like as in camping. That is my two happy places. And when it gets to this stage of the year where we've not really been camping for months, I start really wanting to get out there. We're only going to our local one, which is literally 10 minutes down the road. But honestly, when you're sat there, you could pretend that you're somewhere completely different because it's just so lovely. It's right next to an abbey, the ruins of an old abbey. And yeah, we just love it. So yeah, next week there'll be some footage of camping. I'll do my little chit chat from my camper van, maybe. But anyway, I think that's it. I think that's all I've got to say. I really, really appreciate you being here as always, and I'm sorry that it's been there's been a bit of a gap. I will say as well that my they'll be a bit sporadic, my videos for the next few weeks, because like I said, I've got things coming up and we are still in the Easter holidays. So they will be there. There will be videos, but they probably won't be on any kind of regular day. The other thing that happened this week as well is I had my Zoom with the beautiful Kelly from Roro and Cade. I absolutely love her. So yeah, I've been really lucky this week. I have been treated to 2 Zooms. One from Kelly of Roro and Cade and one from Mandy of Mousewitch Yarn. So yes, I love it. I'm very, very happy. It's always nice to sit and speak to other like-minded ladies, and they're both just such lovely groups of people. So yes, that is it. I'm going to go. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate you all so much. You are all amazing. Be kind to yourselves and keep crafting fun. I will see you again really soon.